Yo, yo, what's going on, y'all? Good morning, happy Saturday, or good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in, first of all. So we're just gonna go over this week's price action a little bit, and also just do a breakdown what's to come in the upcoming week. A little market prediction for next week. So we have starting next week. We have about a few red folders this week actually. So there's gonna be a lot of volatility in the market. We have some CPI for the pound. We have some red dollar, some red folder news for the dollar on Monday. Including the pound again. A little bit more Wednesday. Then some unemployment claims on Thursday. So it's gonna be a very, very volatile week probably. So let's start off with US 30 or the YM if you trade futures. So right now we're coming off of this big bearish trend that had lasted about 21 days, almost a month worth of bearish price action. And now we see after we had this bullish engulfing here, starting to push it a little bit higher, coming on this 200 MA right now. Had a nice indecision candle on Thursday, popping off of it, but overall the MA is still kind of pointing a little bit tilted up, so it might respect it and then stay within like this entire range here, right? And then we just stay down here for a little bit until some more buyers come in, or even continue the bearish trend, because we do have a break of this level over here. But right around here is a nice I think psychological level or key level, so somewhere like right around here, so we can kind of round this up to 42 even. It's a nice headline number, right? So we have a test here, coming off, broke through, come back to test it, reject it a little bit, followed back up into it. It's a lot of indecision at this level, so have to be very cautious here. So looking at the lower time frame, we're still on this bearish trend as well. Then we started making higher lows this week here. Then we have a break of this level of resistance as well. Then this looks like almost like a break of structure here, because it came up 100% retraced, tested it for a little bit, made another higher low point right around here. Price broke through, made a new higher high within this range, right? And now we have a higher low point that came back below this MA I have marked off here. So I'm anticipating price to continue a bit more bullish, because we still have this gap open from the other day right around here. So I'm just mark this off here. So I'm anticipating some follow-up to at least hit this, to at least close this gap before we see any sort of bullish movement, something like this. And just based off of seeing that, you can probably tell it's like almost like a head and shoulders type vibe going on, right? And then we're at this 42 even, a very big headline number. And just based off the fib, I think this is hitting like a 61.8, just based off of this push here, point A to point B. And we don't even have to modify this fib. Came back, retraced to like 38.2, around 50%. And then first fib was almost hit, negative 27%. Tapped off of it, rejected. And then our second TP at 61.8 didn't get hit yet. So this, I could definitely see this following up and hitting this negative 61.8 here, just based off of this fib. And then we're just following the structure along right around here. So the main level for me that this will have to break in order for it to continue to go bearish is probably around this level here. So I'm actually just gonna zone this off, make it orange for the 4-hour. A little precision there with the line, the random line. And then just looking at this structure here, have a bounce, close up above the MAs. It didn't, because after seeing this bearish push here on Friday, you would expect price to maybe do like a small tap off of this and come back down, which it did on the lower time frames. But then the next 4-hour candle at 9 o'clock just snatched it, engulfed all of London's movement pretty much, and closed above the 4 hours. So what that's telling me is there's more buyers in this market than sellers at this moment. And then let's just go down to the 30-minute time frame, see what's going on down here to see what happened, right? So this green line that you see is the 4 hours, still the 4-hour MA, just on a smaller time frame. Price tapped it, just broke straight through it, tapped this level here, and continued bullish. And then in order for me to start taking sells again, I will probably have to see price come all the way back down here, break through, and then take sells based off of this level. Because right now, all of this right here just screams kind of like a bullish cycle that we're going through right here. Can take advantage of these minor movements if you were locked in enough, I guess you could say. Just off the break of this, maybe like a lower high point here, take it off that retest. But looking at the overall big picture, I will focus more on buys to try to close this gap that we had. And we're trading above that 4-hour MA. We're above the 42 level. Then you had this nice wick just reject off this level, bullish engulf and follow up. Price just continued. So now we're still maintaining this uptrend even on the smallest of time frames. Level like this just marked off of here just based off of this higher low point. Price came down, tested it, tried to push up, failed. Price came back down, counter trended, tried to break this level again. Tested deep off that 4-hour level of support, which is maintaining this whole uptrend where this orange zone is, and then just continue back up. So we're slowly transitioning from that huge downtrend back to that uptrend, right? So what I'm looking at now, just looking at this, we can probably go down to 15 minutes, see this a bit better. You have a break of this level of resistance here, and then we're just continuing that bullish pressure to finally, hopefully, we're gonna break this intermediate high here and get to new highs and probably close off that market gap. So if anything, during Sunday, probably gonna wait for Monday to get that volume to kick in, and then probably start looking for buys on this 42 level, to be honest, because it's a lot of confluence around this area, all these wicks. If price could break past here, then we get a nice little retest. And remember, price doesn't have to retest exactly on this level. It can do something like that. It can just straight up blitz and then give us a deeper retrace later on. In that case, we will have to wait. If it gives us immediate retrace and then a nice some sort of bullish variation, then that's good news for us. We get in quicker. But name of the game here is patience, right? But overall, anticipating price to at least hit 42.761 this week, right around that level at least. And let's move on to NAS, right? So with NQ, I actually already had this marked up, but I'm gonna turn my auto save so I don't mess up this chart. So kind of a similar situation here. This market gap still exists. NQ is a lot more cleaner in this area at this moment. Yesterday, the YM was definitely cleaner than this, but overall, just looking at the structure here, it's way more clear. I think I marked this green zone off my fib. Yep. I have swing low to swing high. Price retrace touched 61.8, and now we're just chilling within this fib. Negative 27 is perfectly marked off to close off this gap. Our steep higher low point here. Main reason why this is your higher low point, not this one, because this one's kind of like all one push. If we go like one time frame higher, like on the 4-hour, right? This looks all one push, and then we have that pullback, and then we have that first higher low point. That kind of made a higher high. It's based on this 4-hour. We have actually closed volume, not these wicks. So as you can see, price came down, tested that area again on Friday, and rejected back to the upside. And I am overall bullish on this until price comes back down and breaks this level of support. Because because that just makes sense to me. Because above here is kind of like we're in like some sort of bullish formation for price to continue and close this market. Yep. And that's around on NQ's 2150s. 2150s. We'll probably look there. We have a nice bullish engulfing coming off here, closing above the MA. Price tested to try to come back below it. Continued bullish. And I'm pretty sure I just marked these key levels off based on the daily or the weekly, just seeing how price interacted down here. Yeah. Based off of this. Yeah. Overall, just showing that price gets mixy in this area. And as you can see, it's reproducing that same effect. Lots of chop. You got to be very, very careful when you trade, and probably just trade off of the extremes in the swing lows and swing highs rather than getting caught up in this mix or whatever is going on here, right? It's all like in the middle of the range, so you want to trade based off of these highs, these lows, and maybe some intermediate. I think I took trades in this intermediate area. So just to clean this up a bit, make it easy for you guys to see. This is kind of textbook. This just looks good for the uptrend. Like I said, if price doesn't break below like that 19500s, we're kind of chilling for the buys. Sunday open, this is like the hourly, right? So let's go down to like the 30, see what that looks like. We have our MA starting to slowly transition. Just slow. Have a nice push up to end off the week. It did. I can see on Sunday price come in maybe off a retrace overnight, and then New York pushing this price back up. Continue. So first target for this area probably would be somewhere around 900s first, right? And then we can anticipate price eventually coming up, playing around a little bit, finally breaks through and give us that continuation to hit those 2200s, 2150s. And then just following the minor time frame structure, it just makes sense, right? You have a higher low point, breaks this trend, flips the MAs, breaks resistance, and then this is slow. It's just giving you that same information that YM was doing, right? It's slowly transitioning from all of that downtrend to more so a bullish trend. So I'm probably going to be just looking for buys next week on this as well. And then let's check out gold. I think my gold chart is actually clean on this. All right. So just looking at the daily, we've been in a hell of an uptrend. Obviously, commodities going up at all-time highs on gold at right around. Why is this not showing my open high low close is the question. I did not turn it off. That's weird. All right, we're gonna let it rock. So this is about at 30.57 is our all-time high level. So let's just mark it off really quick. Right, and then Friday we had some bearish pressure coming into this market, wick to the downside. So it came up doji candle half with the just dojis at the bottom, really just wicks. Just looking at the structure, just have a gigantic push with barely any sort of pullback on the 4-hour time frame. Consolidation push a little bit, then we have a little bit of a pullback. So just looking at this, just prices just honestly just hella bullish. It's hard to, you can't even, you have like an eternal fib on this from these lows. Like, can't even place fibs on here. Just based off of this high, potentially, we might finally have that pullback, just to hit that 38.2. But just looking at these the 4-hour time frame, all last week, we had that push up. Then price just stayed here since Wednesday and just slowly started retracing past Wednesday. Based on this area, you could probably mark off this level of support as we have price came down, sat on it for a little bit, pushed up, and then price came back, retested it with this doji, rejected it, came back and just filled this wick over here. Price rejected it again with this doji. Then you have price go deep into the level of support, and looks like it tested it with this next candle, so it's not fully broken yet in my definition. Not to say that this won't retest and push down, but overall we're still bullish, so it's really hard to take sells if you're focusing on buys, because it's so bullish. And any sell you take, you have to probably be very cautious and very short term with it, because you never know when the buyers could just kick back in. We do have a nice dump on this hourly time frame to the downside, but price will probably come down. Usually fast moves get ate up like that, just really quick. So we probably have price counter trending back up to here and test this level again, like on that 4-hour bullish candle that we had seen, and test this level. It might give us this break above this support right back, test it again, and then push back up to the all-time highs. If we don't come up here and just respect this level, price is still kind of is gonna stay within this entire range up here. So I will probably wait for that, because just looking at the 4-hour time frame, price came down bearish, and we didn't get any bearish follow-up. We got a bullish tested candle inside bar, so this level is probably not fully broken yet. And then even looking at your lower time frames here, price gave you this massive push, and then we just immediately started counter trend afterwards. So we might test, give us a nice higher low point, or it might just push up straight back into the zone and just give you like that retest, right? And then head to all-time highs again. That's what I'm kind of looking at, or even probably more consolidation, if anything, at this level as it tests these levels, because price, more than likely, price will consolidate up here before the drop, versus giving you a straight drop. As you can see, the same happened with this area here. Tested, price came down deep into the level support, right? Tested the area, give you a nice bounce. Then doji came back down, tested higher low point again, and then gave you that push. So we might see a little bit of that. Any potential levels for retrace probably be somewhere right around here, just based on this daily, if it does decide to do that. And then if not, you're looking for that steeper level here, and you can probably, if it gives us like a more thick downtrend, like based on the 4-hour, if we actually get a 4-hour break and then a nice retest on the 4-hour, then bearish. But overall, all these MAs are still pointing up. We're still bullish. And then let's look at GU, and then we'll close this out really quick. So it's based off of this. I have no idea why these levels are drawn on here, when I do them. Let's just wipe this really quick. All right. So looking at the monthly, we're still kind of caught in this range, trading in this zone here still. Just looking at the monthly, price came down, tapped this monthly level, and then we're starting to continue bullish again. Then if you're looking at some sort of Wyckoff, if you're that deep, you have a nice kind of like a spring here almost, to be honest. So let's mark off this monthly level. But just based off of how the month is, we have like what? We have one more week and a couple of days before this month ends. So pretty much like a week's worth of price action until this monthly candle closes. Monthly is mostly bullish right now, so we're heading towards the end of that. Weekly, we swung to these lows here, tested it, and we're now we're swinging back up. Weekly MA shortly starting to tilt a little bit up, 200 MA. Excuse me, still tilting down. Daily, we have this nice uptrend going on right now, right? So now, after price is breaking these resistance levels, that transition already had happened, obviously, and we are bullish. So now Friday and Thursday we have these two back-to-back bearish candles, signaling that price might retrace a little bit steeper here. Might even tap off of this MA because we have a nice little confluence level right around here. So let's just mark this off orange. On that daily, so make it blue. And just based off of this nice confluence level, have some exhaustion over here. Price came down, rejected off of it, higher low point. Price broke right through the 200. 200 is a little bit flat, so we might consolidate in a wider range, but just based on it breaking this level, we might see price come down, wick out a little bit here, and then get a nice bounce. And let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So we have a little bit of stagnation here in this entire area, and then just marking off this, you can probably see like just a nice little wedge almost. I don't really mark off wedges all too much, but just so you can see it a little bit, so you can see what I see. Price came up, gave us small pushes compared to this is what I mean. These are still decent pushes to capitalize off of, but it's not the major push. Just comparing it to this move here. And then price broke through the wedge, and now we're falling. You can see price crossed over the MA, going a little bit bearish now, and we might maintain within this consolidation range. Just here's what I mean when I see consolidation range, and I'm marking this off of the consolidation range mainly because price didn't fully give you a nice break, right? Price kind of came down, stagnated. Nice little head and shoulders, possibly. And seeing how price just had this gap, went bullish, gave you a new high, and then now we're retracing back to this level. So we might see a steeper counter trend just based off of the 4-hour time frame. Hopefully, if price breaks through this level, gives us a nice push down to where we have our major confluence level based on the daily. But I can also see price testing this area just the way it came down. So we have a bearish candle, doji, nice little another doji, mostly bearish pressure here. Then we have this long wick, a rejection to the downside. Then we have this inside bar, also mostly bearish with a buyer's wick at the top. And this entire area is kind of like being tested at this moment. This I do not consider it broken yet until we get another bearish follow through. We have all these levels that price has to fight. Look how long it took for just to break off this level. Like it paused here for a good minute. So this is like a stiff level of support. I think that's like 28,750. Nice psychological level as well. So I'm still maintaining my bullish bias on this, even if it retraces a bit steeper. Just looking at this fib, I have a nice 38.2 area right here. So what that means for me is price can just grab some volume from down here, or liquidity. I know some people like to call it that, which is cool. It is what it is. Just to get everybody out who put their stops down here and then go bullish off of that. But what I want you to pay attention to is just a break of this this trend line here. Then we have a nice push to the downside. So now we're looking for some sort of bearish follow up just based on the momentum. So my overall bias is bullish, but short term we're bearish. You can't buy off of all of this bearish pressure. Not saying you can't completely, you can, but you have to wait for some sort of bullish transition to get back into this market before you even think about buying. All these lower high points still being formed. You need to start seeing some higher low points, breaks of resistance. Your MAs are still kind of pointing down, so I can kind of see like retest of this level, and we might play down here for a little bit. I know Forex is a bit slow, but GU actually has been moving proper these past few weeks, which is good. Nice volume. So this play might actually happen fast. But seeing how we are on this bearish, we've kind of retraced that I'm not sure if this was news, but this was a big a large volume candle compared to the rest, so it might have been news. But then we almost retraced that entire move, came up, gave you a lower high point, come back and down to test this level here. So all of this is kind of being tested still. So I can still see buys, but you have to be patient on these buys as well, and see some form of transition. At least wait for the break of this level here before you start looking for buys again. Overall, you're still looking at sells for the short term. But I can see price just testing this level on a higher time frame. So let's get a 4-hour bullish candle at least before we start digging down to the lower time frames to try to catch that bullish transition, just to help with our patience. Other than that, you're looking for bears on the short term. But that is all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's see what happens when this week is finished, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.